The ego comes along to protect you. The ego comes along and it's a part of your consciousness that's there to protect you. It's not bad and wrong. It's not about killing or getting rid of your ego. It's about maturing it. It's about maturing the ego so that it can become a liaison rather than an enemy that holds you back. And so as we move and we open up, what is important to let go of the past is the emotional impact, the damage, the hurt, the pain, the frustration. And what pain is two feelings that happen simultaneously. It is a feeling of being separated from something that you desire, being separated from, and at the same time longing and yearning for that in your life. When you've been separated from something in your perception, you've been separated from it and you long for it. When someone dies, you're separated from them physically and you long for them in your life again. That's pain. That stretch of separation and longing is what pain is. When you're sick and you're separated from your health and your energy and your well-being and you long, all your friends are out playing and having fun and you're stuck in bed feeling sick, you long for that. You feel pain, emotional pain. So pain is that separation and longing that we each feel from time to time in our life. And ultimately, the spiritual pain is being separated from your soul and spirit. Now, hear that. You're not separated. It's the perception, your ego's perception of being separated. It's not your act. You can never, ever be separated from your soul and spirit. That's who you are. But in your perception, as you have turned your back from your soul and spirit, which most of us do on our journey, we have to. It's the first part of our journey to develop the ego in childhood, and our past is about the ego. And it's like we develop the limited self in order to open up to the empowered self, because this is a world of duality. And it's not, often you don't appreciate something until it's gone, until it's missing. There's we can appreciate something through gratitude or through grief. And most people who don't open their heart to appreciate in the moment will go into grief, and through the loss and through the pain they start to appreciate. And in so many ways we develop a negative ego. We develop a limited self in our childhood, and we identify first of all to identify with the physical world, because it's there to help you, it's there to serve you. And as you become physical, you need an ego to navigate in this world. But there's a point where then the ego takes you to a certain point where you decide, am I going to go back to the past and try to keep it going and try to make things work from the way and not change and not grow and not evolve and just keep doing the same old, same old? And if I do, I have to usually go into drinking and drugs and alcohol and all kinds of things to try to distract me from the fact that I'm not growing and challenging myself to become more. I'm stagnating spiritually. But if you can shift and lift and challenge yourself and step out of the ego and open up to the vision of who you really are, your soul and spirit you've never been separated from it. But pain is the perception of being separated from your soul and spirit, which ultimately is soul connects to goddess, spirit connects to God. It's my connection with the divine through my soul and spirit, through my masculine and feminine energy. The feminine energy connects me to my soul. The feminine energy of imagination, of passion, of creativity, of intuition, of feelings, that's all feminine. The masculine components connecting me to my spirit is willpower, determination, willpower. It's not passion, which is feminine, it's compassion that is masculine, believe it or not. In the twisted chauvinistic society, we don't think of compassion as a masculine energy, but it truly is. And instead of creativity, the masculine energy is productivity. To be creative and productive, to be imaginative with a willpower, to be open to my feelings and my thoughts. Thoughts are masculine, feelings are feminine. Creativity and productivity. Intuition and its counterpart masculine is intellect. It's logic and reason. And you need both. You need both. If you only lean on one or the other, you're going to be out of balance. The connection to heal the separation from my soul is to honor both the masculine and feminine within you, regardless of your gender, because it's consciousness. It has nothing to do with your sex. It has everything to do with your consciousness. And guess what? Your feminine energy is your power. It's your ability to challenge yourself. It's your ability to grow. It's your ability to evolve. It's your ability to be creative. It's your ability to produce. It's your ability to feel, to have emotions. Now, that's what power is, the ability. When you take that ability and you take action upon it, masculine energy, that ability becomes, or that power then becomes a strength. Power is feminine, strength is masculine. And as you bring these two together, so you bring the feminine and the masculine, they give birth to wholeness, to oneness. They give birth to the foundation that is the springboard for that empowered destiny, for the springboard that is your empowered future self. And it's so brilliant because as a gay man myself, I hated my feminine energy growing up. Oh my God, it was the problem. Why I didn't fit in? Why I wasn't like my brother? What was wrong with me? And I was called all kinds of names, and I just wanted to be creative. I didn't want to do war and army and go out there and fight with my brother. I wanted to create and produce and have fun and be intuitive and imaginative, and I had a lot of feelings. For a little boy, that was like, what's wrong with you? So what was my greatest liability is my feminine energy has become my greatest strength. As I've learned it, understood it, notice how it connected me to my soul, which I denied by denying my feminine energy. And as I could heal and awaken and heal that part of me, I've given birth to a sense of empowerment that is never felt before in my whole life. And it was a journey of bringing together and wedding that these energies within me, imagination and willpower, creativity and productivity, feelings and thoughts, desire and action. Desire is feminine. When you think about it, gay men, I think they have a lot of passion because they're connected, they're conscious of their feminine energy. And part of our destiny as gay men was to expand the consciousness for the rest of mankind who haven't identified with their own feminine energy. We brought it forward, we brought it into their face, we shared it with them, we helped them to see and understand it. And that's part of our destiny. And it was painful. And we've gone through so much judgment, so much pain. It was my own judgment that was projected into the world. And as I could heal my own judgment and see the beauty and value of my uniqueness and my individuality and how I came here to bring a message into the world, I could use the story of my pain, my little story, which is from the past, bring it into the great work, into the inspiration, into the healing of the planet, which is my soul's story. And I had to make peace with my past. I had to understand, why did I have to go through this? And I used to blame God and blame everything because I didn't have any choice in the matter, so I thought. Well, I didn't on an ego level, but my soul knew exactly what it was doing. My soul chose everything that I needed to go through for the lessons to challenge me to become more and to heal my relationship with the goddess, with my soul, and with my own feminine energy. And as I've healed that, and we live in a world that is chauvinistically dominant masculine energy, I bring in a presence, an energy, a light to help those other men, not by teaching them this, but by just my presence, and also certainly by teaching, but also by my presence. So it's about coming together in healing and balancing yourself and seeing the big picture of why all the things happened in my life for a reason. It wasn't a mistake. And that's when you can lift and shift out of the past, as you can resolve those unfinished emotions and those emotional impact of the past. And I had to do that with my brother, with myself, with my perception of myself. But now I'm in a place where I feel such a strength and power, and I love what I do. I love helping people, and I work with clients, and whatever I'm doing, it's just like I'm so blessed. But it took a lot of time and energy and growth and work to get here. I've reached to a point where I never dreamed possible, where I have this sense of connection and peace and this sense of intuition, and I feel safe in the world because I know I'm always at the right place and that I'm safe. So it's like these missing ingredients that the first half of my life represented have been brought into balance by taking what I thought was a liability and understanding it and healing it and bringing it into a state of peace. And that's what I encourage this journey of moving from the past into the future, to be willing to take responsibility for everything. I could have blamed lots of things. Myself, I could have blamed other people, but that never ever accomplishes anything. I had to respond. I had to take responsibility. I had to challenge myself to learn and to grow and to understand myself. When I was 16 years old, I was literally in a place that was so frustrating, and I had to open and shift and lift. So that process of moving from the past into the future is what this is all about this year, but more importantly, what the magic of metamorphosis. And this is the bridge now to step from that past into the future, to emerge out of that cocoon into a new way of being. Feminine energy is being. And out of being, you take action, doing, masculine. And then you be and you do, and you balance the masculine and feminine energy. Instead of being powerless, I'm going to be powerful, and my actions are going to reflect it. Instead of being scared and afraid and anxious and upset, I'm going to be at peace and confident and strong, and my actions will come out of that energy. It's such a step that is your next step, so important, so valuable, as we move now into this second decade of this new century, as we move into the decade of transcendence, the 2020 to 2029, the decade of transcendence. And in this year, we began 2021, the year of greater truth and understanding. Was last year. But not just greater truth and understanding, it was reflected in the world, the fake news and all the stuff. And what can you trust? What can't you trust? Well, you got to trust yourself. Greater truth within yourself you can find, you can discern and evaluate what is true and what is not true. That's the true strength and power. You can understand, be understanding rather than judgmental. And that was what last year was all about. This year is about metamorphosis, to take that truth and that understanding and bring it into a cauldron within your heart, to reflect and to look at what's working, to be truthful with yourself and to understand your past, to be truthful with yourself and to understand what have I created so far and what needs to change so I can move forward to fulfill my destiny. And I can bring that up and out to connect with people like you who are there to grow and to stretch, and you can be a light in a world that still is addicted to thinking of itself as dark.